down, just look around and find at least something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you.
Welcome back to Two Canadians at Kafe Lise, a Vigor podcast, episode 55. I'm your host, Dr. Anton, and with me is the other host, DJ Spencer.
Hello.
Hey. We're a week behind. The reason for that being we knew that they were coming out with the new season, and we figured this week or the week prior, as you're watching this, they'd be doing the preview. So we figured, okay, let's just wait. We'll coincide with the preview so we could talk about it and give our thoughts and show everything, just like you've probably already seen, but we wanted to cover it because it's good to talk about.
Yep. And shout out to all the Vigor partners who put out content, both like either on stream with Dizzy Online and Honorable Bandits, and the YouTube content from IX Wardog is new to the YouTube content for the preview stuff, and he did a fantastic job. Christopher Beast and that guy Brian Evans. So thank you all for the content that we were able to review and kind of like provide it to our listeners
and borrow from. Yes. But we do appreciate it because they do great videos, and they can really dig in and show some good examples of some of the stuff that's coming. So we'll just be showing screenshots like usual, but talking about it as we go. So,
it is a little tricky for them too, because they don't get any notes either. There's no changelog available to the partners. Literally, they see the same splash screen as we do, that they show us, and that's it. There's no changelog whatsoever available at the time. There is that press Y to see the changelogs. That doesn't exist. Dizzy's tried it, and it leads to like an empty page, because obviously Vigor has not published the page yet on the website. So literally, they're told of the new things, and they have to kind of like guess some of the other things or the fine details of how like some of the stuff works.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little tricky, and it's whenever possible, it's always nice to be able to grab some things like the loading screen. I didn't find a good way to do that this time around, so I'm still using, say, the old backdrop here around us for season 13. But as soon as it's out, I'll be grabbing the season 14 load screen for future videos.
We'll get it from the press kit once it launches.
Yeah, from the press kit, exactly. But for sure. But yeah, this one, before we go too far, please like, share, and subscribe and comment below. We appreciate it. Click. Yeah, get that out of the way. But yeah, this is going to be season 14. Chronicles Reckoning is what it's going to be called. And I'm really excited about this one. The theme is right up my alley. I love the style of the theme. So as we go through it, I'll point out everything I love about it. And some things I'm not jazzed about looks wise, but mostly I really like it. I think it's pretty good. But let's get this going. Make sure I'm on the right screen. Okay. And we'll just start about talking about just what they show that's new in the update. When you first load in, this is from the preview build that we borrowed. Chronicles Reckoning Battlepass is here. Myren, new Shootout Map. And there was they had already leaked that they were, or not leaked, but told us blatantly that they're coming up with a new map. And it's as expected, it's a new Shootout Map. Myren, they were saying, means swamp.
Marshland.
Marshland.
So they also dropped Easter eggs on one of their recent blog posts as well. That the name of the map would have been Myren. So if you looked at, there was a paragraph with an answer. I forget which one it was, but when you grabbed all the capital letters in that sentence, it actually spelled out Myren. So shout out to everyone who found out about that little Easter egg.
Yeah. No, I wasn't even aware of that. I knew they've been doing Easter eggs. I just didn't realize about that one, so that's kind of cool. New weapon is coming. The new M4A1 shatters the battlefield. So that's a gun that's been around, not in the game, but around in a lot of games for a long time because it's a very popular assault rifle. So it's now going to be in Vigor.
Yep. And it's been highly requested for some time, apparently, and
Mhm.
it fits the time period, so it fit.
Yeah. The new consumable is a bear trap, and they say to decimate your enemy's stamina.
Mhm.
Owned weapon skins will now display in shootout and elimination, which is really cool. So I believe what that means is, yeah. So when you load up for each round, or whenever you start with a weapon in those modes, it'll have whatever skin that you default to in your shelter, I
Or
believe.
if you loot from a weapon crate as well.
From a weapon crate, yeah. If you
Yeah.
pick up somebody else's weapon that you kill, it's going to have their weapon skin on it
Yeah.
until you either get rid of it or whatever. Um, map specific loadouts for shootout. So now
Mhm.
there's 3 different shootout maps, and each one will have a bit of a different flavor when it comes to what weapons you find
Yep.
as you're playing.
Yeah, so you're not going to get snipers on like Kirsten,
Yeah.
but you may get some on some of the variations of Anakin and whatnot. So very nice little change.
Yeah, and exactly, Anakin. Yeah. Um vote kick system added to elimination. I don't know if anyone showed this
No, so
because they
the
couldn't.
partners,
Yeah.
yeah, the partners don't have access to this right now. They weren't able to team up, so they don't really know how it works. And on the dev stream where they actually previewed season 14, they just kind of mentioned it, but they didn't really get into details. I don't think, if I recall correctly. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious how this one's going to work.
Yeah.
But it's been requested a lot by the community for the AFKers. So we'll see.
What I'm worried about is, they did need to try to figure something out to do with AFKers. Is how this we won't know until we see how it works. But what about other people on the team decide, oh, you're not performing very well, you suck, we're going to vote you out. Like
Uh,
that could be really abused if it could work that way.
Yeah, and I think I'm sure there's going to be some kind of safeguards or something like that, and they're going to be, well, no, it's not like a static thing. They're going to change it up if they're going to see
Yeah.
something abused. But
No, yeah.
like,
I'm just saying, like, there's been multiple times where they've implemented something, and then they've had to change it right away. So I'm reticent to think that it's going to be perfect the first time out. I think they're definitely going to probably have to play
yeah,
with it. That's
yeah,
all I'm thinking.
I'm honestly not too worried about it. I don't play a ton, but honestly, like
Yeah,
at the end, the amount of AFKers, the
they
last
have
three
to do
times I played,
something.
it
Yeah,
wasn't that bad. So like honestly,
yeah.
I'm not too worried about it.
It's a step. It's a first step. You're right. Like the AFK issue is a big problem. I don't play a lot of eliminations right now either. But I do like the new eliminations. It just hasn't, it's not one of those game modes that I run to. It's my first thing's always encounters. I play some shootouts, typically when challenges need me to, quite often. But eliminations. That's more if I know I'm with a group of people, then I'm more likely to play eliminations as opposed to being by myself, like just streaming or whatever. Jumping into eliminations with a bunch of random people, it's
Mhm.
not as appealing to me. But yeah. Revamped the Frozen Armageddon pack has arrived, and the last King of DayZ pack has been revamped. So these are uh these are like
Premium packs.
bundles, premium packs that you can purchase.
Yeah.
Um and they don't, they're not current ones either, like the originals, I believe. Are they? You looked
I
it up, I
don't
don't
think so
remember.
because
Okay.
I didn't see them on the Xbox store, but like
Yeah.
last season there was I believe it was the Fallen King of DayZ, right? Not necessarily because it's
Yeah,
like
there
the
was
yellow
something
helmet.
with Daisy. Yeah.
So I want to say like maybe the wording's not right on those two items, but we'll see.
Yeah,
It's not in the store on the preview build, so the partners don't know either what it
they
looks
couldn't
like.
show it. Yeah, yeah. So we'll see what that is. But that it'll be interesting. I'm curious what they're going to look like. So what that means, it'd be kind of neat. But yeah, that's the what's new, like little screenshot. Just giving you the highlights of what's new. But yeah, we'll start by going we'll go through the battle pass. Some of it we may just pass through quickly as we go through, but we'll show all the different cosmetics that are coming. Um, the new battle, as they mentioned, the new battle pass is 50 levels, and it's going to be the same this year for the 4 different seasons that are coming. Um, and from all indications, I believe the battle pass is still 690 crowns.
Yeah,
And
it is.
yeah, and as you go through the battle pass, if you make it to the end, you end up getting back 700 crowns.
Mm.
So you get a little bit more than what you pay. Not a lot. It used to be more at one point. It's changed, but you're still getting more than what you pay, which is the big thing. And by the end, you'll have maxed out your boosts at 135%.
Mhm.
That's also lower than it used to be, but then they've also changed the XP requirements to because at one point you used to get like I think even got up to 200% boost, but at that point I think you needed a lot more XP to finish the battle pass. So they have changed it quite a bit over the seasons.
I'd be kind of curious because I want to say it's almost the same thing. I don't remember it being 200% at the end of the 50 ones.
I don't remember
For the
either. I could
75,
be wrong.
I want to say it's pretty close to what it was. Uh,
Hmm.
I would be surprised if there's much difference, to be
We'd have to
honest.
go back and look at
Um,
some of our old videos and see what the previous seasons were like. Yeah.
yeah, because like the 200% and more was like the 75 levels. Because obviously you had the extra 25 levels.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
so
But then
uh,
I know there was a point where they had adjusted. It wasn't even a 75 level thing where they had adjusted how much experience was needed to finish the battle pass because that also affected like the legacy seasons uh for them balancing the legacy seasons at the time. I do remember that talk, but that was a long time ago, so I don't remember
you mean
exactly what was said.
when they didn't apply the boosters to the legacy seasons?
Well, no. But there was a time as they're bringing out legacy seasons. I think it was near the beginning of legacy seasons, where the um uh the legacy seasons were based on what was expected of those seasons at the time, and they had to adjust them
Yeah,
to work with what is current, right?
yeah, the
That's all I can.
original. Yeah, the first
Yeah,
couple of seasons, and then
right.
they rejigged it to copy what the other 50 seasons were at the time.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, but yeah, so this is the battle pass, and it's the theme is diesel punk, so very Mad Max theme, and I love it. It's
Yep.
very up my alley, like sort of like Junkers, another season I really enjoyed for the outfits. So it has a lot of great stuff going through here. First thing is the first outfit you get is the Wraith, Midnight Crone. So a little bit of combination of the kind of things you would see some of the Marauders and something like Mad Max would wear with feathers all around it, but it also kind of screams a little bit of I don't, not crow, but that kind of imagery in my head when you look at it.
Yep.
But yeah, going through level two, you
I love
get
it with all the skulls and stuff, like the details.
yeah,
It's and you know what blows my mind, Doc, is literally how good the skin is, and it's literally the first level
very first skin.
of the premium battle pass.
Hmm.
Like it is absolutely amazing.
I have the back on here as well, so I got the front and back and all the little details with the backpack and the extra little skulls and stuff. It's just a great skin. Yeah, I love it. Then they have this new backpack, the Greasers Pack or Brown. Good looking pack. One thing they do have a lot of backpacks, and there's quite a few that are just plain and kind of boring. But
Mhm.
they've been really killing it with the last several seasons, and this is another
Yep.
very interesting looking backpack, and I like it.
It's very survivalist, right? Because you have like that
Yeah,
toolbox strapped at the top of it, and like a standard bag below it.
It kind
I
of
like
looks
it.
like there's a combination of like there's like there's another bag that almost looks kind of like this one, and then they've sort of added like maybe a pack to it or something. I don't know. It could be, but I like it. First new mask, Warforged Medic, Ebony Black. So interesting sort of gas mask combination, almost flight mask look to it. First gun skin. So there's 2 gun skins coming out with this season. First one that we get, and then so I don't necessarily say it's 50-50. I think there might be more riveted than there is to the other one, but this is the riveted one. It almost looks a little bit like the Rust skin in some ways, you know, very similar, but I do like it. Very very nice. The next mask that comes out, the Draugr, Withered. This is an interesting one. I didn't get the back of it, but it's a full all-around head one, so it totally does your head piece with it.
Yeah, the back has like a zipper. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I should have got a picture of the back, but
I kind of thought that like this is like an evil Daredevil type mask, right?
yeah.
Like slap some red and some black on it, and it's like boom, Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a nice mask. It's definitely going to be attractive to the sweatier players for sure. They like their full face ones that look menacing. So, but there's a few masks like that in this one. The reinforced goggles, dark. Interesting goggles. There are similar goggles to this, just without the covers. So this one's sort of like have little eye covers over them. Maybe it's like protection.
You mean like
I don't
cheese
know.
graters?
But they're kind of like cheese graters. Yeah, they're very interesting. I don't know. I'm sure there's a point to it, you know, but
Yeah.
it's probably for glare, you know, similar to like the during the winter one where they had those little like the I can't remember what they're called, but like the
Reflective.
the sort of anti-reflective one. So this one might have a similar kind of purpose,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of
But
strange.
honestly, it fits the theme, right? Of Diesel
Oh yeah,
Punk.
absolutely.
Like
It fits the
totally.
theme.
So
New helmet, the torch helmet with rad light. It's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, having a light on your head that you don't turn off. I don't know how about you know if it's really going to affect you too much, but
yeah. Yeah, that's one of my questions is in the Outlands, is that actually going to be flashing green, like walking around? Like, are
yeah, are
people going to
people
be
going
able
to
to see that?
see this little like is it going to be noticeable from a distance?
Yeah.
And is it going to have any kind of effect in game? Like, will it light anything up? Probably not, but it'd be
No.
interesting to see.
But the other thing I thought of, this is like a shout out to Dizzy Online for the green.
I don't know. That'd be interesting, eh?
Anyway.
Yeah. It's an interesting helmet though, because it looks like the mining helmets or like maybe even like a firefighter
Yeah.
helmet with some spikes and the light on it.
Yep.
Next this is the other new skin, plated, and this is for the new gun, the M4A1. And at this level, you also get an M4A1 at the same time with some ammo.
Yep.
So you know, first look, you think, oh, you know, it looks just like the M16, the ES16. But then you know, spend a little bit more time on it, and you can tell it's like, oh yeah, different stock, different
The
foregrip,
grip's bigger. Yeah.
yeah. So and you know what when we I'll show the stats on this when we get to the plan, but when you get that. But yeah, it's a nice looking weapon, and then the plated skin is a nice looking skin. It looks good, I think, in all its forms.
Yep.
One of the new backpacks, another new backpack. This is a interesting backpack. It looks sort of like a gas can. It is a gas can with some bits added to it, like exhaust bits and whatnot. So it's interesting. Fits the theme, absolutely. And then we get the first version of the new title, Reckoning 1, Grease Boys. So it has like a little symbol. It's a gas can with a symbol on it, and then the back of the can has a gauge, and then the gauge, as you go up the different levels, fills up. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. One thing too that we haven't talked about, Doc.
Yeah.
If you look above the battle pass, instead of just having the days, now there's like a progress bar, which I kind of like the way it is. It's divided into 3 segments, and I'm assuming it's safe to say that now that the seasons are basically 3 months long, that it's going to kind of indicate like how far along we are. Like the first month of the season gone, next one, and so forth. I always thought that was kind of cool because yeah, I could see how many days are left, but some people are
Having
visual.
yeah, that's
So
true. No, and now I'm also kind of curious if this will have any bearing on when they do their patches. So when they do like their
oh, maybe.
mid-season patches, if they'll
Mhm.
coincide with when the month is over, when the bar fills up, that's when the next patch will come out.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool if that worked that way. It doesn't have to, but it'd be neat. Yeah,
Yeah, it would. That's that I didn't even think like
yeah,
brilliant. I
yeah.
like it.
Then you get another little hat. It's the Tinkerer's hat. For me, this is kind of plain. It's neat, but okay. Just
I I kind of
cap.
yeah, I kind of like this one though.
Yeah,
Like all the little like trinkets and stuff, and
yeah,
like it looks like little parts and stuff on the front of the hat. Um, yeah.
yeah. No, it's not terrible. It's just it
Mhm.
doesn't. I guess it's not flashy to me. So
Yep.
it doesn't have to be flashy though. You don't want everything to always to be flashy.
Yep.
Then there's the first set of new gloves, and at the same level, you'll get some of the bear traps. And we didn't have a close up picture of the bear traps here, but you can sort of see it in the on the screenshot here. But the bear trap looks like a bear trap. Nothing really unusual there. But the new gloves, the armored gloves, blue steel. There's a few versions of these, and I'll show both sides because they do look different. This is the right side. It's like an armored glove, has plates all over it. But then the other side, less plates, but then it's like they've added in some little things, maybe for hitting, or I don't know, because it looks almost like pop can pull tabs or something. But it could be. That's what it looks like to me on the fingers. I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed
Uh,
to be,
I
but
want to say that's like the trigger hand. Like if you're gonna fire a weapon and
well, that
stuff,
is.
that's
I guess for
probably
most people, well, because I guess depends if you're right or left-handed, right? Because
yeah,
this is the left hand, so that'd be if you hold your gun like this. If you're,
yeah.
if you hold it like
But
that, then
yeah,
but
it's only
it
one
doesn't
out of the
matter.
two, right?
Yeah,
So and it's not like you could set that
you have no
something
control over
otherwise.
that in the
So
game, so yeah. But yeah, it's a nice glove set. I do like them, and
mhm.
has a green look to it, even though it's called blue steel. The one glove looks kind of green to me, but this is when you get the first plans, and so this is actually are consumables usually this early? Like this seemed early to me, level 13.
S so I think it has to do with the fact that it's actually uncommon. So
Yeah, well, might be.
it's
You're right.
pretty easily attainable, right? So
Yeah,
um
and
yeah,
I
for
have
me
the
that's why.
yeah, and I got the oh, it didn't show up. Okay, well I had okay. This is where the stats for the gun is supposed to show up. I don't know
Pardon me.
why they're not showing up here, but we do have the stats. So they're
Well, we could cover it after the battle pass
yeah,
because
we can
this
cover it
is
after Battle Pass.
yeah, because this is just the bear trap, right?
Oops. And it just reset on me. So let me just go back to where we were.
Or we could
Uh
just talk about it too.
yeah, yeah.
So the bear trap itself, let me pull it up. So you need a crafting table of 4. Um, now Dizzy Online provided us with a screenshot of this. His preview build shelter, um, the crafting table is at level 10. Or no, sorry, his utility is at level 10, so it reduces the cost by 45%. So right now he's just under 2,000 materials to craft it. So it's going to be a bit more than that. It's probably going to mimic what the alarm trap is and the decoys are because they're all like uncommon. And then for crafting time, uh, Dizzy has it as a minute and 30 seconds. Um, but his crafting table, or sorry, his water distillation is at level 8. So that gives it a 50% reduction. So it would be a 3-minute um, crafting time, if
okay.
my math is correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
There we go. So yeah, and it's uncommon. So you can carry up to 5 of these in with
yep.
you. Well, yeah, and we will go over the bear trap a bit more after we're done here, after we go through the battle pass. Next part is the riveted for the Gewehr 3 SG1. Um, again, looks good. Like I think they all look decent, so it still looks good. It's kind of a rusty look to it, and I like it. I don't know if it'll bump off any other SG1s that I have or not, but it might. You know, I do like it. Next is another new, the first of another new series of bags. I think there's only a couple of versions of this, maybe 2 or 3. Bag o' Bones, and this is the Jolly Roger. So it looks like the one of the duffel bags, or the top pull string bags, but with a kind of a skull imprinted in the leather, or if it's kind of steel.
Yeah. I know a lot of people mentioned like Terminator and stuff like that, and it kind of like inspired the devs, what they said in the dev stream. But like
Yep.
the minute I saw this, I don't know why. Like, well, no, I know why. I wanted to say I thought Han Solo, right?
Oh, in carbonite.
Frozen in carbonite. But anyway,
Yeah.
it is a pretty cool backpack.
Yeah.
Very menacing.
And from a distance, because we're seeing this maybe a little bit smaller, it almost makes me think of Planet of the Apes in a bit, or in a way, just because it almost looks like a I don't know if you want to call it chimpanzee face or something, that I might think that's why it's sort of, I don't know, it's popping in my head a little bit, but
Mm.
I know it's nice, interesting backpack.
Yep.
Next is another new helmet, the Mohawk helmet, bronze, so it's has a couple big goggles on it, has but bullets for spikes across the top, and a little pouch on the side. So it's a nice one. It's definitely a neat one. Then we get another riveted, and this is the Remy, so a new skin for the Remy.
I absolutely love this one.
I love this one.
Like,
It is a
honestly,
nice
like
looking one for sure.
between plated and riveted, I want to say riveted is my preferred one, but
Mhm.
like I love the rusty gun skins
Yeah, so do I.
from the past seasons. But yeah, I think there's going to be a few changes in my weapon skins from this season. Anyways.
Yeah, and this one's really nice too because it has the nice light colored wood on the stock and the grip for the pump. It definitely works really well with this one. Then you get the first face paint, and this one's hard to show when you're just looking at a still, but it's called KO face paints, and you got a bunch of bruises around your face.
You got knocked out.
So you got knocked out. Yeah, it definitely was in a fight. Yeah. Next one is the next full helmet, and this is obviously you know from
Mad
the
Max.
last Mad Max movie, Fury Road,
Oh, yeah.
Immortan Axel, the Marauder version. So yeah, really these are really great, these helmets, because they have like the Immortan Joe kind of face thing on there with a
Yep.
hose and a filter, and yeah, it just looks really good. And the helmet itself, it has a row of spikes, 2 rows of spikes actually going across, in almost like a dual mohawk style, but really small.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really cool. And then the next version, Reckoning 2, Sawbones. So the image changes to the medical symbol, the universal medical symbol. The can gets a few add-ons to it. It has the like a, I don't know if it's a carburetor or what it's supposed to be on the side there. And then when you switch to the back, it's gone up a little bit in the gauge.
Yep.
Next version of Warforged Medic, Dusty Bound. So yeah, just another version of that. It still looks good. Another version of the new backpack, Fuel Runner, Inflammable.
It
So
is so
now
cool. I
it is a
like
nice
this
one.
one.
Yeah, the red
Yeah.
version of it. Another new helmet, the Paratrooper helmet. So this is like a version of an older helmet, I do believe, or something similar. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I want to
Yeah.
say it is something similar.
Yeah, CBRN division with the big goggles on the top. Next riveted, the RPK 74.
Yeah.
So looks good.
Yeah, I like this one as well.
Yeah. And then the first of the other outfit, like the new real main outfit in this pass, Wasteland Brute Scrap Trooper. And there's a few versions of this. This isn't my favorite. This outfit, it looks good, but then there's some things to it that don't look to me quite right. It almost looks a little too put together, like well put together. Like he has like the really nice turtleneck underneath, and he has the really and the pants look a little too nice. It needs to be a bit more worn, I think, is my thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if this is like
Okay.
a diesel punk, if like it's a Mad Max style, everything should be a little bit more worn out. Is my thing. It just seems
Well,
a little too nice.
like if you look at the bottom of the turtleneck, like the actual shirt, like it's dirty and stuff. I
Yeah,
what if it's the green that's hiding all the dirt? Because it is
maybe
like
it might
that
be.
forest greenish type thing that
Yeah.
might hide it all.
Yeah, and
But
on the back, it does have a nice symbol on the back, which will of course get
yeah,
obscured by anything you're any backpack you're wearing.
yeah,
um, but that is a nice. I like that fist out
with the
symbol.
wrench. Yep. Uh, I like it. Like it reminds me of like almost like Walking Dead. Oh my God, what are they called there?
I don't know. I haven't watched The Walking Dead.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a point where like, they end up like having suits of armor and stuff like that, like one of the towns and whatnot.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
my God, it's been so
Okay.
long that I don't remember. But anyways, that's what it kind of reminds me of. But I kind of like it. Um, I don't know if I'd
It
wear it,
might
but I
be
like it.
it might be the choice of hat too, that Disney has on it from this screenshot. Um, maybe if it had a little bit different helmet, something a bit more theme appropriate, maybe it would pull it together a bit more. I don't know. Hard to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next, another version of the reinforced goggles, brass.
Yep.
The next version of the plated for the ADR still looks good. I like the plateds, and I'll probably definitely use them.
Yep.
Um, the next version of the greasers pack, hydrant red.
Yeah.
I like the red box on this one.
I do like it's like dirty, greasy, right? But you still get that
Yeah,
color.
yeah,
And same thing with the actual bag itself. You get some red, but it's also dirty and stuff.
yeah. Another new hat. This one's based on the Ushenka, but it's
Yep.
called the Bullet Hoarder's Hat Arctic. So it has a bunch of shells, spent shells on the sides, and some spent casings across the top. So it's
Yep.
kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I find it interesting that they like didn't add to it as like a new Shanka, and they put it as like a separate category. But yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And then it's the next version, the third version of Reckoning, Hellfire Battery. So now it's got on both sides, got a new symbol with a big like a shell on the front with some wings, and I'm not sure what else if it has words in there or not. It's hard to tell for me right now.
Mhm.
But then yeah, and of course the gauge is up, getting up there. Another new helmet, the Warforged helmet brass rivets, and it's a little hard to tell from this one. It has some writing on it.
Yeah.
Um,
So there's like the Anarchy A type thing
yeah,
on the top left. Uh, you know, there's like bullets around. It's kind of neat because in the front there's like a split or a crack, and then it's like I guess it's like not band-aids, but it's like pieces of leather and they're kind of riveted in to like hold
yeah.
it
So it's like
together.
been put back together. Yeah,
Yeah. So
and it has a saying on this other side, and I don't remember what the saying was, but
I don't remember either.
yeah, but
But
it's okay.
it's almost like Full Metal Jackish ish. Full Metal Jacket.
Yep. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
I'm trying to say it right, but
yeah. The next version of the Bag o' Bones, Pale Rider.
yep.
I like this one actually because it looks more silvery to me.
Hmm. This one's
Another
cool.
the next riveted for the H bar, um, and this one looks really good too. I like this one.
Yeah, I love this one. This is
Yeah,
probably going to be my H bar skin.
yeah. Because I'm trying to think of what I have for H bar skins. I don't think I have too much that are like really nice. So this is probably going to be replacing whatever I'm using too.
Yep.
The next version of the Immortan Axle Old Guard. So it's added in coppery elements to the face mask.
Yep.
and I think other parts of the helmet as well. So looks really cool.
It is. It's
Yeah,
spectacular.
it's another one that's going to be very popular among the very sweaty, but it's still a fun one. Next version of the Wasteland Brute, the Enforcer. This one, maybe it was the green, because this one I think almost looks a little better to me.
Yeah.
Just because it's not so bright, as this one's a little bit more dull and faded.
Mhm.
So that could
Yeah,
be part of it.
you could actually see like how it's kind of worn off or dirty, right? So
Yeah,
I think it was just a color scheme,
it might
but
be.
yeah, this one, so it's pretty much the same thing as the first one, but instead of like the green, it's blue.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, and then on the back, it still looks basically the same. They have the same logo on the back, but just you can see the rest of it.
Yep.
Next face paint, the Tinkerer face paints. So this is basically, I guess, supposed because it's a grease, right? So I guess
Yeah.
it's supposed to be you're working with your hands a lot and you're getting grease all over yourself. I don't know,
Yeah.
and you're using grease to help extenuate, make yourself look menacing.
Or you got a buddy coworker who likes to like troll you and just like randomly
Yeah,
like gets
maybe.
grease all over your face.
Yeah, could be. Next one is plated for the L85A1. And
I'm
L85 doesn't have a lot, so this is
I'm kind of torn because I think there's like a scrim wrap one or something like that.
that there is, I
Uh,
think, yeah. And I like the
and I
scrim
think
wrap.
yeah, I'm like I think that's the one I have right now. It's gonna be a toss up. I don't know about this.
I could see
Like,
using it. Like I could
yeah.
see, changing it up once in a while, and this is definitely would be in the running because it's a good one.
Yep.
Another version of the Draugr, the Vanguard. I didn't get a good shot of this one, but there's blood on one over the one eye there, across the one eye.
Mhm.
But it looks good.
Yep. Evil
Uh,
Daredevil.
yeah. The next version of the armored gloves, Cold Iron. So the one side, and then the other is again kind of a yellowish green to that side. But yeah, I like these gloves. And then it's Reckoning
Pretty cool.
4, Marauder Brigade. Yeah, new Mohawk skull symbol on the front. And on the back, of course, showing a higher gauge. Um, I'm assuming that they're going to be showing this. If you put this as your badge, I'm assuming you're going to be seeing the image as opposed to the gauge when you're out there, when you're
Oh, I
seeing
don't
people
know.
looking at their different things. But I guess we'll see. Um, Next, the plated L86. So this is I don't think I have much for the L86. So this is definitely one I'd be
No.
using.
Yeah, definitely going to be this one.
Yeah. Next, face paint, the Warboy face paints.
Mhm.
So this one looks really cool because it's it's like in the skull kind of pattern.
Yeah.
Um, and then
It
like the lips are kind of they make it look like they're chapped, but they're kind of
it almost looks like the Punisher skull, right, on the face.
yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah, it's pretty badass.
like a version of it. Another version of the Immortan Axle Carnivore. So now
Yeah,
you got a bunch of red and white in it.
like teeth and everything. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it looks cool.
very menacing.
And then the last version, because there's only two versions of this outfit, the Wraith Headhunter, and it's a lighter version of the Wraith, and it looks good. It looks really good. Considering the dark one was the first one you get when you get to this point in the past, then it'd be a good time for a switch up. And yeah, I like it. Do I have a back? I don't have the back of that one. Then it's the level 45, the Reckoning 5 Battle Pass reward or
Title.
title. I can never remember what they're called. Titles. Demon Corp. So it has the cool little symbol there with the gas mask on the main side. You can see they're adding more to it on the bottom now. And then when you
Yep.
switch around, you can see the bottom has those little. It's starting to look like the backpack, the one backpack you get,
Yep.
And then by the end, it fully does. But yeah, you can tell the gauge is almost full, getting very close.
Yeah, and at this point you get the the M4A1 plan as well.
Yeah, and this one's working, so we can see the stats for the M4A1. I don't know why we couldn't for the other, but for the preview build, it's a level. You need a level 9 battle pass, so crafting table, I should say, to be able to make it. And it was 15,000 materials for 4 hours. It's a military grade.
Yep.
Shows the base damage 31, rate of fire 760, effective range 900 meters, 31 ammo capacity, and weight of 4. Using the same ammo as the that whole line, the 5.56
NATO
45
rounds.
NATO, and single shot and full auto. So yeah, yeah, it's a decent gun. We don't unfortunately don't have the stats to compare it to the others, which would have been good to think of beforehand. So we could have seen how it compares to the other guns in the same range. But yeah. And what's after this? We have, oh yes, the Juggernaut. Only version of this one you get is the Juggernaut Danger.
Yeah.
Probably pair well with all the Danger's weapon skins that are out there.
Oh, yeah.
In this screenshot, it's hard to tell some of it, but it has like blades across the top and down the two across the mouth. In that cage, there's some blades as well, with the visor. So it looks really cool. It's actually a pretty cool one.
Very well done.
Yeah. And then it's the next plated, which for the Bugle. So Bugle gets a plated as well. And I think I'm gonna have to just swap to another screenshot here to get the rest of it, because I didn't have enough room in this slideshow. So after this is the next gloves. Armored gloves, shining brass. So just brass colored versions of the metal plates. And on the other side, I have to do this. There we go. Again, brassier looking, some red to it. Looks good.
Yep.
And then the last version of the cap, the Tinkerer's cap, rusty red.
Yeah. I really like this Tinkerer's cap.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a good cosmetic. And then it's the last version of this, where you get all the fluorescent paint on it. The Wasteland Brute Revenant, and this is on the free tier. So everybody, whether you get the buy the battle pass or not, will get this one by the end if you finish it. And it just has a bunch of fluorescent paint on it, on the arms, legs, on the back as well. So they cover up the symbol with painted on, or they highlight it with fluorescent paint.
Yep. I'm kind of curious if there's like any meaning towards like the colors,
right?
On like the legs, and like obviously it's like legs they're the same, but like left arm, right arm, they're different.
Yeah,
the back is different. Just kind of curious if like there's a reason for it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know if someone figures that out, or if they eventually say anything about it. Yeah. And then last to see is the finished title, which is Reckoning 6 Warlord. And here it looks really cool because you have the skull, kind of skull. It's almost like one of the helmets or something with wings. And then underneath it is like another sort of added to it, added to the symbol. But then you can see here it from the back, it looks more like that backpack a little bit. And then on the other side is the full gauge.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the battle pass. Everything that you're going to get in the battle pass, and it looks pretty cool. And I'm really excited for it. I really do like it.
I want to say this is like one of the best battle passes, like cosmetic wise.
Yeah.
Especially in a while. And it's got to be refreshing for like the team, because it's like diesel punk. It's like, have fun with it. It's not like, hey, we're going with this type of military gear this year. So it's like, it's static. You basically have to mimic what it is, right? You might get different backpacks or different like hats or something like that, or variations on it. But it's like, honestly, this is like it gives them a chance to like show their creative side. and do something different. So kudos to the dev team for coming up with some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it all looks great. And I've always been more partial to these type of seasons where, yeah, they're playing around with looks, and it's not, yeah. Like last season, I know there's a lot of people who really love Arma, and that was a great season for those people. But for me, it was, yeah, whatever. It didn't mean anything to me. It was like, just another generic
Mhm.
military looking style season. But these seasons where you have this and Junkers, even Renegades, that was like a unique season because it's like
Yep.
sort of a Western kind of looking season.
Yep.
I like it, I really do, and I think for me this looks more like a post-apocalyptic kind of
Yep.
thing than your standard military ones do.
Mhm.
Because how often are you going to see a whole bunch of people wearing the same military outfits? If everything's broken, if society's broken down, so.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so that's the battle pass. Um, Other things that to talk about is there's not a lot to say about the new map that that we can show because obviously um, we can't we don't have access to the preview build, and if you go out there and with the links that we provide, you'll see some really good uh, examples of what the new map is like. So we can just show you a few little things. Um, but like this is the now this is just for the preview, and that's why there's 6 slots. If you hadn't noticed, if you hadn't heard about this in the dev stream or from one of the other partners, while they're doing play testing, they put in a 6th slot so that they can get to that map real quick. But when it comes back to us, when it's fully released, it'll just be the standard shootout rotation.
Mhm.
I think they made mention that when it comes out, I think the Myren one will be, it might be exclusive or it might be longer. But I thought they mentioned something about it being longer. Like I don't know.
Uh, I don't remember about that.
Yeah, I don't. I could be wrong because I was listening to it after the fact, and um, but yeah, Myren obviously is going to be in the shootouts, so
Yep.
that's where you'll see it. And then they haven't really mentioned anything else about anything different changing with the top 3. So you know how sometimes they will, like Winter Wonderland is out right now, where all the a lot of the winter ones are popping up on one side, and then they have other things popping for the others. So we'll see what it's like in the new season. But
And
that's what the snapshot looks like for Myren.
I would like to point out that we were kind of right about them coming out with the shootout map first and not just
Yeah.
encounter.
Yeah.
So
No, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it seems like that's what they've been doing. So it's pretty common. So
well, the last 2
um
maps.
the last twice, yeah. I don't know how often they've done new maps, like because when I started in season 4, um Sagbrook was the shootout only.
Yeah.
They hadn't come out with Sagbrook yet, and it didn't come out right away. I can't remember when Sagbrook came out exactly. Was it?
Season
I don't
4
think it was.
versus
No,
season 3.
no. Oh, being the shootout came out in
Yeah.
season 3, but the actual full Sagbrook came out. I'm not sure if it was
Oh.
5 or 6 or
6 because Anakin was 5. Because Junkers, it was season 5. Whenever Junkers came out, that's when Anakin came out.
that's when Anakin came out. But Sagbrook, I'm talking about the full Sagbrook.
That would have
Dude,
been
was it? I don't. It wasn't.
which cosmetics did you just mention? With the suits.
Renegades.
Yeah, Renegades. So that season, that's when Sogbrook came out.
That might have been 7. Then. No, was that 7?
No, 7 was Trappers.
So it might have been 5 then, or 6. No, that was 6. 6 was Renegades. Good audio here for you guys as I try to remember what came out when. I'm pretty sure 6 was Renegades.
Junkers was 6.
Oh,
Renegades
okay.
was 5.
And I was totally wrong. So Renegades was 5.
Oh,
Okay, so it took them
yeah.
a couple seasons before they came out with Sogbrook as the full map, from when they released it as the shootout map. Anakin, and Anakin was the Eliminations map for at least a couple seasons, right? Before it came out as a full map.
Yeah, Elims came out in what, season 4?
Well, was that when Limbs came out? Was season 4?
Yeah, something
Something
it
like
was
that. Okay.
before. Yeah, it was a few seasons before that.
So it in those situations, it was a couple seasons between. But then when Kirsten came out, it was about a season, right? Because they had Kirsten as a shootout for a
Yeah,
season,
literally a season.
and then it came out as the full. So in this case, it's probably going to be similar. A season as of Myren as a shootout, then the next season should be the full map. So, pardon me. But that's the snapshot, which shows basically the main build. Well, not the main buildings, but one of the big buildings of the
Yeah.
of the map.
It's the checkpoint.
Yeah, the checkpoint, the military kind of border checkpoint between Norway and the USSR or Russia, or yeah.
At the time it was
the USSR. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Because in the early 90s, so about that. There's also a big warehouse. There's a few little buildings around, but not a lot of buildings. It's very open, this map. And very, marshy and wet. And definitely check out some of the videos highlighting the map. Like this guy Brian Evans has a good one. But yeah, like for a shootout, it's going to be you spawn and it's like run because someone's going to be near you or looking for you quickly, because not a lot of cover unless you get into the buildings.
Well, there's like a giant no man's land where it's like there's big dips and holes, right, where there's like mortar strikes and stuff like that. So there's some elevation to it.
Yeah.
I'm super curious because this is actually going to be a 10-person map. So we're bringing back a 10-person shootout lobby. They did away with those for performance issues, but they're bringing it back for this map. It is pretty big. And then speaking of buildings, you mentioned like the warehouse. That guy Brian Evans actually mentioned that it's actually the same building from DayZ. So it's kind of nice to see that
there's
crossover and reuse of like resources and stuff like that between the two teams, because it kind of finds like an efficiency.
Probably it opens things up. Yeah, because if they don't have to design everything, if they can take something from DayZ, no, I'm sure there must be some, like, I don't know, but maybe a little bit of redesign as they bring it over. It may not be 100% lift and shift, but it'll save them a lot of modeling work for sure. So it's pretty cool. So that's exciting. That's good to hear, because it really does open up their options in the future as they're building new stuff and outfitting it. They don't have to maybe use quite as many of the same building all over the place, but I'm sure they still will for efficiency's sake. But and the fact that this building does have this map has so much less objects on it as compared to like the Sogbrook shootout and the Kirsten shootout, probably helps it being a 10-person map, because it's I know they've had to do that stuff like that in the past, where like with Fisk, they had to redo Fisk a bit because they're having issues with it, just because there was so many objects on that map that it was causing issues. So they had to take it out, simplify some areas a little bit, and when it came back, you noticed it, but it was still essentially the same map, and a little easy, easier for them to maintain the load. So
and then another thing to change to shootout with this season, pardon me, you're not going to see any toolboxes out there. Weapon crates will actually hold more than one weapon in some cases, and also consumables. So it's kind of a neat little change, and you can get pretty much the whole gamut of consumable tools in there. So very interesting.
I think it might have been Brian Evans I was watching, or somebody's, where like he opened it up and he got some bear traps right away. So you can get everything's definitely available as far as consumables. It seemed like it anyways. I never saw anyone come up with a mortar strike, but in theory, if it's in that particular map's loadout, then it should show up. But it's kind of cool, and the fact that you can get a couple weapons out of crate is kind of neat. So you're not always, sometimes you open a crate and it's like, oh great, this weapon useless to me. You'll get two weapons sometimes, quite often, and hopefully one of the two weapons will be, something
Yeah.
you're willing to use or have a better
But
chance.
to be honest though, like at that, if you're running around looking for weapon crates in shootout, it's not going to end well.
Yeah, well,
Like,
if you're looking around for weapons crates, because they don't give you a ton of ammo when you start, right? You get a
yeah,
weapon with some ammo, and sometimes you go
but
for that ammo pretty quick. You need something quick. You have to just grab what you can.
yeah, but it's quicker to just kill someone and take their stuff than run around looking for a weapon crate.
Sometimes that'll also depend on what your challenges are. So, sometimes there are challenges where you have to loot so many weapon crates and not there. And
Yeah.
typically when they say that, it's not body crates because that's a different one. Like if you
Yep.
have to loot so many different bodies in shootouts. So there are different challenges based on that. So that'll drive it a bit too. I don't have like I said, don't have a lot to show for shootout, but I do have a couple things for the bear trap. Um, that was from a shootout. And one is just what it looks like. Whoops, there on the ground. So that's what it looks like when a bear trap is laid out. So no, nothing surprising. It looks like a bear trap. There's going to be a lot of controversy with the bear trap. There are people who think it should work some ways, and compared to how it does work. So it's going to be a thing. You're not going to be able to avoid it. It's going to be a thing. People are going to there's going to be a lot of people hating on it. Haven't tried it yet. We've seen how it works. And essentially what it is, you run over it, and it stops you for a moment. Very, very, doesn't really stop you. Like, it's like you trip. Stops you for a second, but it does give you a health dip. So if you take some damage and
Like
you take
20%.
some 20% and some stamina, your stamina goes down. And then it pops up with little, it looks like the counters, but it's just a symbol because it doesn't actually count down, as and unless you can. And uh, and I know during the dev stream, they were a little cagey with it. They were saying that you have to use something to get rid of it without specifically saying what it was. I thought, I'm not sure what Brian Evans was using. I did see him use something and it went away. I don't know if it was just as simple as a
No, there,
painkiller or
no.
what. If
There's nothing that will take away the losses stamina. There's
nothing,
nothing to heal it. No, nothing. You could
no,
just
no.
heal yourself. That's it.
Oh, you heal yourself. I see.
You can't take away the stamina. Hit.
Oh, I
So
thought there
it
was
stacks.
okay.
So the stamina hit stacks twice. So you could
Yeah.
only take as much as twice. So you're down like 40% on your stamina bar, but there's nothing you can do to regain that stamina back. Or
Oh, so it's just
your
the damage.
your max stamina is reduced by taking a hit from this. And like I said, it's 40%, but like I saw a bunch of like sweats and people who just go out for kills complain about it. But the thing is, those people are going to be running around with adrenaline and caffeine. You're not going to see a difference. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. And the other thing too, I was re-listening to the podcast. I listened to the podcast version of the dev stream after the fact, like yesterday to try to get, or no, sorry, a couple days ago to get ready. And a little thing I missed beforehand, Johanny actually mentioned that your stamina regeneration is also going to be slower.
Yes. He
After
did mention
having
that.
this. So I thought that was kind of curious, and no one's really mentioned it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think it's neat. I kind of agree with the fact that it would have been nice if like it would actually get you stuck in place for a second or make you maybe prompt to get out of it. But like the stamina hit, I like it. I love it. It makes sense. And honestly, this opens up the idea for adding a new consumable of, let's say, a splint, where it's like, boom, slap on a splint, you get a bit more stamina back. Why? Because your leg is healed or something, right?
Well,
So
that's why I thought it, like using whatever it was, like a specific thing
yeah,
healed you, because when Brian Evans healed himself, the symbol went away. It didn't stay. So that's why I thought it got rid of it.
Yeah, no, nothing gets rid of it. The symbol may come and go, but it's not. Your stamina hits there.
Then that seems a little weird to me. The symbol should stay. If you're being affected by the stamina thing, the symbol should stay. In my
For
opinion.
me, anything I've seen, it stays. Like,
and I definitely saw Brian.
is it because the health bar went away?
No, well, I don't know if that was the reason the symbol went away, but the symbol did go
if
away.
that whole thing goes away, then that symbol's not going to show up, right? So, like, if your stamina bar, and you know how, like, sometimes if you're standing still or something and you're not doing anything, it goes away. I'm wondering if that's what it was. And
I don't know. Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't go away.
Well,
you don't get your max stamina back, or like your health you could heal, but
yeah. We'll have to see when we can actually test it and actually use it, how things are affected. But the big thing is, like, a lot of people were like up in arm, or are up in arms, because it doesn't stop you in your tracks. You know, and that's their whole thing. And I do get their point. You know, it's a bear trap. It's supposed, you know, in real life, yeah, a bear trap would stop you. You're not going anywhere after you get hit. You have to free yourself from their bear trap, which, fine. A regular bear trap, yep, would do this. If this did that, I would totally see it being something that would throw people out of the game. Because all the newer players, if they started running around, getting stuck by bear traps, and then having sweaty people kill them all the time, why would
people
they
are
play the
doing
game?
that already. Like, sweaty people are just killing. No, Doc.
No.
People
do that now. Yeah, no, that's fine. But imagine if this was also part of it, then it would be even worse. I know.
I disagree 100%. Sweats aren't going to be using this. They are not.
No, now they're not. No, you're right. They're not going to be using this. But if it did what they wanted it to do, 100% they'd be using it, and
I don't think so.
And everybody would be up in arms about it. Absolutely. No. If this stopped people in their tracks so they couldn't run, and then yeah, the sweats would totally be using them all over the place. You're carrying 5 of these in, lacing them around, and you know, in an area, and just watching that area, and boom, you know, they catch somebody, and because nothing shows them, like, unless you see it, there's no indicator it's there.
Because a sweat is not going to sit around one area waiting for someone to come along.
Some will. Like, there are different types of sweats. There's different types of sweats. There's not just there's the jumping around Mario Kart, sweat, Mario guy sweats. That's a sweat. The jumping around guys are a sweat. But then there's the other type
that sit around do nothing. That's not a sweat.
I'm not saying sitting around doing nothing.
How are you going to be a sweat if you're sitting in one spot? It's not like you're watching cops in the Outlands or something like that.
But this would, if this stopped people in their tracks, that would introduce a new level of sweat, then a whole different thing.
Yeah, I disagree.
I don't know.
I don't see them using it at all. They're going to use the grenades, mortar strikes, stuff like that. They're not going to use, like,
imagine that somebody gets stopped by this, then you can just easily get your grenade kills or your mortar strike kills or your whatever. I think
it's a tool.
I think it'd be way too powerful if it worked the way they want. The people who are complaining worked it the way they wanted it to work.
No. So it's all about realism. So for me, make it trap someone, make them prompt to get out or something, and like then, like I said, there's a consumable heal. Like, that's all it is. Like, it's not.
Yeah,
I'm fine with it. Like, I honestly don't see the Outlands being littered one way or another. Even if it pauses someone, it is not going to get litter the Outlands. It is not.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to litter the Outlands, but if it worked the way they wanted it to work, it would be different talk. It'd be different.
No, and even at that point, they'd probably reclassify it if they're like, okay, like, this is too much.
Well, yeah, it would have to be reclassified.
Like, honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. Like, it literally
right now, it's not a big deal.
It would take 5 of these to kill someone, even in the current status, and that's like, I don't see someone, like, literally parking their bums in some location waiting for this to happen. To me, they're going to just plant it to be like a nuisance, and that's it. That's all it's going to be, is a nuisance.
In its current format, exactly. It's a nuisance, and it's it's going to piss people off, but it's not going to be a huge game changer. If it was doing what they wanted it to do and it stopped people for a period of time, then it could be a whole different conversation. That's what I'm saying.
No, I disagree. Like 100%. A
That's
bear
fine.
trap is supposed to trap you. Like,
Yeah, but there's a lot of things in games that don't work 100% the way they should. Like there's things in this game that you wouldn't have, taking a caffeine pill isn't going to instantly have you running across the street, like it doesn't work that way in real life. So there is a bar between realism and a game, right? So none of the consumables, if they work the way they work in real life, would be any kind of functional in the game.
yeah, I'm just going to say I 100% disagree with your views on this. But
That's fine.
anyways, it's
That's
been
fine.
asked. This has been asked forever. Like,
Oh, I
the
know.
bear
Yeah,
trap has
totally.
been asked.
Yeah.
Like G40 Chris has been asking for this for ages. I think he was the first one that I've ever heard
Yeah.
mention it, type thing. And it's like, am I going to bring them out? Probably not. Like, I know there's a seasonal challenge in the new sets that
Yeah,
said
yeah.
like bring out
Yeah.
50 bear traps. It's like, I'm going to do it. Fine. But
Yeah, yeah.
like after that, meh. If I find it in the Outlands, I might use it.
Yeah, I'll have to see. Like, I definitely, it's like there's a lot of things in the consumable thing that I don't bring out unless there's a challenge or
Mhm.
if I find it in the Outlands. Like alarm traps. I don't bring them out unless I have a challenge. Though they do combo well with other things, like with contact bombs. I've been finding that I've had some mild success using like a trio, like how you do the trio of contact bombs.
Mhm.
And to try to hide their sound, you usually put them around something. But if you have a good area where you can where someone's sort of bottlenecked, you put an alarm trap first, so the
Yep.
alarm trap's going off and you don't hear anything, and then they run into
Mhm.
the contact bombs. It actually can be pretty effective. There's not a lot of places you can do that on the maps, but it's kind of a neat combo. I kind of like it as a combo. But
Mhm.
yeah, normally, yeah, I'm not taking alarm traps in. Like booby traps, not taking booby traps in, unless I
Yep.
need to, right? So yeah, it's definitely one probably not taking in, maybe take in once in a while to play around with, but not on a regular basis for sure.
Oh yeah.
Even in its other format, I doubt I'd be taking it in if people had it working the way they wanted it. I doubt I'd be taking it in regularly, anyways. But I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Um,
Mhm.
what else that I want to mention at this point? Uh, there's the bear traps. Um,
You could break the so you could shoot them to destroy them.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you have a throwable, like a grenade or flash or something like that, it will destroy them or trigger them, type thing. So you could jump over them. You could go beside them and whatnot.
yeah,
Literally, you have to walk over it.
yeah.
Uh,
They don't have any kind of radius like your
yeah.
typical traps or alarms and stuff like that do. So it's you have to step right on it to trigger it. Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of cool. You can shoot them if you notice them. Um, you know, again, shooting it will give you away into using a um silenced weapon. Um, Uh, what else was there about this season though? Uh, that was coming. Let me think here.
Like, are you talking about
Oh,
changes or related to the
yeah,
bear trap?
changes. Yeah,
So
so no,
the
not about the
big
bear trap.
thing, the big thing for me, and this is probably the biggest thing in some time, is so now this has been asked for ages, but
Yes.
now if you have a sniper rifle and like another regular weapon, um, you can actually scope in with your sniper and then swap to the other weapon, and your other weapon will not be scoped in. So
Yep.
ADS is basically remembered based on the weapon that you're
Yep.
using. That is such a huge quality
Yeah.
of life change. I love that. Absolutely 100%. Give me
Yep.
that.
It's huge.
Uh, it's like, I don't know how many times it's like I've gone to another weapon. It's like, boom, I'm still scoped in. It's like, oh no. So I'm very excited for this change. It's been, like I said, it's been asked for so long. And actually,
Yeah.
like, if you look going down the list of things from like the screen, everything has been asked for by the community. Like literally every one of these things. And the devs have like delivered. So
Yep.
absolutely fantastic change.
Now, maybe not 100% the way they wanted, but it's all stuff that's been asked for, and it's neat. It's pretty cool, and it just shows that they do listen. And even though people say, "Oh, they don't listen to people," and there's all these things, the game's busted or whatever, and there's always going to be people who like that because they got killed, or or somebody killed them easier than they think they should have. There's always going to be that faction, and so you just gotta tune that out. But the fact is, they do listen. They are trying their, they work on the game. They obviously uh, love working on the game because they put a lot of of themselves into the game. Um, Other things.
So another thing too that was very different that actually I didn't hear anything of before, but Xbox Series X. So this is only on this platform. You could have the option to actually increase your frames to a maximum of 120 FPS.
Yeah.
The downfall is your graphics are going to be the quality is going to be lowered, so it's not going to be 4K resolution. But basically, if you go in your settings, there's it's like a little toggle. You will have to reset.
Box.
Yeah, you're going to have to reset your game. So like quit out of the game and then restart it. But you're going to be running at 120 or up to 120 FPS. Just like I said, it's not going to be 4K anymore. So that's pretty cool. They did ask about PS5,
PlayStations,
and it is they basically have to like rewrite a bunch of code. And Johanny actually mentioned that they were actually getting assistance from another team to actually make that happen. But there's no timetable on that.
Yeah, and the big thing is the PS4 version doesn't have the ability to do this. So it's like it's almost like a not total rewrite. I don't know for sure. I'm not a programmer, but it's a big job to get it to a PS5 version. So yeah, and but it's not out of the question. It's just like you said, it's going to take some time. Yeah.
Next gen updates. Let's go.
Next gen updates. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're getting there. It's slowly and
then PC.
And then PC. Yeah. Oh man,
dude, PC. I will champion PC port till like until I'm done playing this game, because honestly, the growth on the PC market, it would be huge for the game. And we've already gone through it. It needs more resources, team, money. But I get so many people who play PC games only, and they say if this was on PC, I would play it. So
yeah. I just think, and I think I may have said this before, that if it just can't have cross-play with the consoles if they have PC, and that's my opinion.
No, the games don't do that anymore, really, for the most part.
Well, there are still ones that do.
There's some, but for the most part, they'll stick with the consoles can play with consoles, PC is PC. So
yeah, exactly. There's also there was really sort of not leaked, but there's going to be some new cosmetics available to purchase, which we can also show a bunch of them, maybe not all of them, but we do have some screen grabs of some of them, so I'll show those here, the ones that I have. So there's going to be a new version of Renegade in brown, and I have some costs with them. I don't have all of them, so it depended on the source I grabbed them from. There is, I have to highlight that for it to work. A few new robber outfits. And robber was never one of my favorites, so it's like, okay, a few new robbers. This one is the Outlander 32. It's got on the back Outlander 32 on it. But then there's also a new camo version and a green version. So if you like the robber one, then a few new versions you have access to. I'm sure will show up in the store as well, like in the rotating shop at some points. There's a few new versions of the Walker. This is the forest green version, and then there's also the Misfit, which has some. I thought I had them reversed. Okay, that's the front of it. But it's actually quite a nice looking one. This is the same outfit that was a Vigor anniversary one. at one point.
Yeah, and they did something similar a few seasons ago where there was the Fenrir Walker jacket
Yeah,
too, that we thought it might have come in a pack or something like that. But this is basically the same concept where there's new cosmetics coming into the shop, and it's not part of the battle pass or a pack.
right. There's a Vagabond, another version of Walker, and I like the Walker ones, so those are pretty nice to see. There was a new version of the Biker. This is the racing one. So that's actually kind of a nice one. I know
Yep.
you play the Biker a bit, and there's also the zip code.
This one I am absolutely in love with.
Uh,
I always, anyone who knows me, I rock the Rivals jacket
yeah,
pretty much since I've started playing this game. And uh like this zip code one is absolutely fire. Like it is
yeah.
amazing. I love this one. Take my money, take my
Take
crown.
it now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this one I'm going to be rocking for sure.
yeah. New track jacket, and this one's for there's a bunch of Valentine stuff coming because the new season's releasing right before Valentine's Day. So they were adding some new Valentine's cosmetics, and this is one of them,
Yep,
which is the track jacket,
yep.
Love Not War. And actually, I'm not a big track jacket fan, but this one's actually quite nice. I like this
Yeah,
one.
exactly. I love this one too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then on the back has a big heart on the back, says love. So yeah. There's also a couple masks. There's a few other things that are I don't have pictures for.
Yeah,
But I'll just get the ones that we have pictures for. This is the face mask, Love Not War again.
yep,
And this one's really cool. This next one, the gas mask,
yep.
CCCP gas mask, Love Not War. It has a heart on both sides, a black heart on both sides, a heart in the middle. I kind of like it. It's kind of neat.
Yeah,
Also coming, there's a couple balaclavas,
yeah,
a love one called Love Struck and one called Lovable Rogue. So I unfortunately don't have those to show.
yeah,
And there's a couple M4A1 skins coming. And it
yeah,
might be coming for other weapons. I don't know for sure, but it is coming for the M4A1, which is Heart Attack.
yeah,
And again, Love is Forever. So,
yeah. Uh,
um,
War Dog on his preview video, he had like all of these included. So we don't have the pictures, but do
yeah,
check out War Dog's preview video because like he literally had everything
yeah.
there. So
Another thing I wanted to just mention, I don't have anything for this. So there's there are some new challenges coming in, but mostly the challenges seem very similar to how they were before. Though there are a lot of changes as far as sometimes like when it comes to like weapons, how many kills you need to get with certain weapons. Like right now, it was quite often there was either like a 25 kill one or a 50 kill one. Those were typical ranges, I believe. Like it was either 25 or 50. But now it's all over the place. And depending on the weapon, was there one that was like 99? I can't
yeah,
remember.
there's so different
Yeah,
partners have different challenges, but yeah, there's some that it's clearly done by RNG because there's some that are like 99, and it's
yeah,
like I'm sorry, like if the season is going to be like 120 days, I'm like
yeah,
no, because like one of them was a PHM 82. I love the PHM 82. I'm not getting 99 kills with a PH. So,
no,
but they did say, Johanny did say on the dev stream that they are still working on the
okay,
seasonal challenges. So,
that's good.
hopefully, that's going to be rectified because, like, yeah, that if I see any, it doesn't matter which gun, I see
Yeah,
100 kills, like 99 kills,
no,
I'm re-rolling. But yeah,
I had
it's pretty
trouble
cool.
just because of based on how often I play. I had trouble getting through, some of the 50s, even with guns that I like that I'm good with. So it's like,
Yep.
uh, yeah, if they are going to do the whole random thing, that's fine. But then they make sure that they base it on a class of gun. Like if it's a sniper, then it should only be maybe max 25 or maybe a little higher, depends.
Yeah.
But there should be a maximum for that particular weapon. It will give a good range for that style of weapon. If it's an
Yeah.
assault rifle, sure, it could be higher. An SMG could be higher. A pistol lower. That
Yeah.
they got to figure that out. So
And one thing too, what that was interesting was someone had asked on Twitter, I think it was, because the season is not going to be as long, will the challenges change, like number wise type thing? And they said no, but they were going to monitor it. So I'm kind of curious too, is if you start off a season and let's say there is something 99 kills challenge wise, if like halfway through the season they're like, okay, like a lot of people don't have like a ton of these kills, it's like let's reduce it or something like that. I don't know. I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious what they mean by monitor and change potentially,
Yeah.
because it's if I see one of those, I'm re-rolling, and it might get a little expensive with 15
Well,
crowns
that's the
re-roll.
thing, right? Like, I guess it depends how they're monitoring. Like, if they see a lot of rerolls, that's good for them money wise, but they should, that means that something's not balanced. No one's trying these. They need to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying anything 99. Nick, if something comes up 99, I don't have the time to try to grind 99 kills on one weapon and then have other weapon kills I have to try to get. So
and it's like like I you can get 15 crowns once you're max antenna within 2 days, because you get about 10 crowns like for 24 hours, so roughly like a day and a half you get, like, let's say a free reroll. But it's I like, for me it was a contact bomb kills that was like the toughest. I'm hoping I don't see anything like that, because like 20 or 25 whatever I had, it took me a while to get.
it took me a while too. It took me a long time, but it was doable. And it was definitely playing around with stuff like clustering them at certain spots that people might funnel through, and then either
You're welcome,
hiding the
Doc.
sound. No, yeah, totally. Yeah, you reminded me and told and gave me that advice. Because I would always have them near each other, but I didn't cluster them. I wasn't thinking of the clustering. But then the alarm thing, I think, helped me quite a bit too, putting an alarm before, just to hide, if they might think, oh, is that a thing? But then they trigger the alarm and then they're distracted by the alarm, and then
My favorite contact bomb kill was like, I put a cluster just like west of Old Geezers in the exit, and then I put a transmitter right basically next to him to like mask the sound, and then I go into Old Geezers, and then there's a lockbox, and then I get 2 alarm traps and a monkey bomb out of it. So I put the monkey bomb like just before the transmitter, and then I put the 2 alarm traps just before that too. So literally the guy ran into like 2 alarm traps, a monkey bomb, and the bombs. It was like
nice.
fantastic.
I also had one to get kills with people running with the or people having the
Red crate.
the crate, not red crate, but just the crate in general. And I got a few that were like on Vic Torsen. There's that one, the popular side exit, where I would throw 3 contact bombs just within the exit. I think it might have been one where I had the alarm trap outside, and then I'm off doing whatever I'm doing, and then all of a sudden I hear the bang, and I pop. I got like contact bomb kill, consumable kill, guy with crate kills. Like, oh, nice. I covered a bunch. So I don't mind when they when there's multiples like that, and they can stack, like when they can stack, you can get multiples done. The overlap, that's what I was trying to say. Like,
I had that with my
pistol
kills.
Or SMG and a particular type of SMG, which is nice. Use the berry, but then it also counts to your SMG kills. So for sure. But yeah, that is the new season that's coming. So it's very exciting.
Chat,
looking
viewers, listeners, let us know what you think about the new season, upcoming battle pass, the changes, the new map. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely. We love to hear from you. Again, like, share, subscribe. But as always, I'm Dr. Anton.
And I'm DJ Spencer.
And thanks for listening, and stay safe in the Outlands. Have a great night.
lost your way again. You don't see your reflection. Just look around and find at least something good. All you need will come to you. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want, so just get home. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your dream. It's time to leave the place where you are forced to fade away. You barely breathe, heart is breaking in the chest. I'll make you feel that it's not real. Your thoughts because of which you barely live. I'll never refuse you. Take whatever you want, so just get a hold. I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your I know you'll find your way. No need to go the same. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. I know you'll find your way. You must be calm anyway. Grab your chance and flame up your dream. Flame up your